Being a billionaire crime-fighting vigilante does have its perks, and in my opinion, the Batmobile tops the list. Now, I'm sure you've seen various designs of the Batmobile throughout the decades, spanning almost 100 years, but the ones that I'm going to be talking about are the ones that have made some of the most impact in pop culture, as well as the ones that have been shown the most recently. So, my top 3 picks for today are Robert Pattinson's Batmobile, Christian Bale's Tumbler, and let's put a video game into the mix, the Arkham Knight Batmobile. Let's go. So, let's start with Pattinson's Batmobile. Right off the bat, this thing looks like a sick muscle car. Very on brand for the Batman that most people think, who's like really big, bulky, and a proper martial artist. This car has insanely wide flared arches, and right off the bat, you can also see that it has an exposed engine at the back. It reminds me of the Nelu as well as the Dodge Charger from the Fast and Furious series. It's very, very cool. And you can also see that right at the back, the arches flare wide open. And not only does it give it the opportunity to give the rear wheels a much wider profile, but it also makes it look like as if it has, as if a bat is like opening up its wings and it's like spanning them open. I think that is a very sick look. And the fact that we have a very minimal lighting signature as well at the back, and the only things that are like essentially lighting up are like 2 red circles for like the tail lights and then like 1 massive circle in the middle for the exhaust, is very, very on brand with how menacing this thing looks. At night, you can't really discern what this thing is or what it's like, mainly because of the dark paint and the white body lines, but like that is exactly what it's meant to be. When it's going past you in the dead of the night, you're not supposed to know what it is. It's supposed to be stealthy, it's supposed to be sexy, and I think they absolutely nailed it with this one. So one more thing that I want to highlight is that the front looks like a battering ram, which is pretty much on brand for Batman because he likes to fucking, go through his enemies. So that is something that I really, really like on this specific car. And another thing that I really like is that the exposed engine bay at the back, it probably helps with cooling. If we were to like connect fiction with like real world physics. So yeah, that's probably the reason why Pattinson or Bruce Wayne or whoever or whatever you want to call him essentially has that exposed engine layout, and I think that is super sick. Overall, I'd give this Batmobile a solid 8 out of 10. Moving on, we move over towards Christian Bale's Tumbler, and lots of people loved it when it first came out, but in my opinion, it hasn't really stood the test of time. Back when it first came out, including Christian Bale's Batman suit, I think that they looked really, that looked really nice and everything like that. But now, when you go back and watch those movies again, it just looks awkward. Like it seems like Christian Bale is like constantly like constipated in that suit, and honestly, I don't like that. And same goes for the Tumbler and the Batmobile, whatever you want to call it. It really hasn't stood the test of time. Back then it looked trendy. Now it's just sad. But a few good things is that, one, it's very, very unique. It's like a tank. It's built heavy, and it has a lot of armor plating, which is something that they were probably leaning towards because of the whole military-styled theme of that specific movie. So I guess they nailed that. And if we look at the side profile of this car, honestly, it just reminds me of a dung beetle that's hunched forward. So whether you like it or not, that is up to you. That's very subjective. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Although this car really does get all the extra points for being super, super unique, so I'll give it that much. But the more we move towards the back, we see that there's a slight technical error, in my opinion. This car has a lot of exposed wheels. So the front wheels are exposed, the back wheels are exposed. So if I'm an enemy and if I want to slow Batman down, I can just shoot those wheels. So those are some of the things that the designer should have considered, maybe giving it some sort of a shield for this specific car, or maybe like justifying exposing those wheels in some way, shape or form. And speaking of the back wheels, the 4 wheels at the back really does make it look like those trucks on the road that are just carrying excessive heavy load, which does make this car also seem very heavy and very not nimble. Like, this thing seems like it's a pain to maneuver, and it does have really shit visibility as well. Considering all these things, I'd give this thing a solid 6 out of 10. It's good, but it's not great. Now we move away from movies and we move towards video games. Personally, for me, this video game really did hit the mark when it first came out. This was Batman's Arkham Knight, and I think this was the first time they introduced a proper addition to the Batmobile within the game, and they really nailed it. Not only with the design, but also with how the car maneuvered within game. So I remember when it first came out, and I was like a teenager playing this game. This car's back reminded me as if it had a really large abdomen, like an ant. So those are the things that are coming straight to my head when I first look at this vehicle. And then when we move towards the front three-quarter view, which is my personal favorite view, by the way, I think the front rake and the front squat just makes it look super, super menacing. Pro tip, if you want to make your car look a little bit more aggressive, just drop it from the front and raise it from the rear. That's just how you make your car look a little bit more aggressive. And that's exactly how they've leaned towards making this specific car look. We see that there are cues from the OG Batmobile from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, whichever era you want to talk about. And we see that those fins at the back, we've got that sharp geometric styling going all across the car, which is very, very sick. Now, my personal favorite part about this specific car, it has two modes. One is the driving mode, where you probably want to go fast and catch all your enemies. But the second one is where you turn into an all-out tank, and your front control arms, they open up like, I'm not gonna say it. And your front control arms, yeah. And your front control arms, they open up wide so that you can just stand there, your artillery guns come out, and your lights turn red, and it's just a menacing look, and you do not want to be in front of that. Which is why I think the most unique styling feature was the front control arms for this specific vehicle. And honestly, that is definitely why the front three-quarter view is my favorite. This car does get a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think Arkham really nailed it with this one, and yeah, that's done. Overall, whichever Batmobile that you personally fancy, that all depends on your personal taste. But for me, when it comes down to straight up functionality, the Arkham rendition stands a tier above the rest. Mainly because it's a video game and it's really easy to model a car in 3D and just have it be in a video game. But the way that it has two battle modes and the design alone, it really does stand the test of time. But if we were to go for the movie rendition, I believe Pattinson's Batmobile really does have a timeless look, because it really does look like those old muscle cars from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. So yeah, if you guys like content like this, please hit the like and subscribe button. I do want to hear down below what more things you want to see from me. But yeah, until then, peace, adios, goodbye.